Hello everyone, my name is Brenda Cherono and I'm going to show you how to implement DHCP in an inter-VLAN network. So first you're going to take the routers. So I'm going to pick 4331 and then I also take the switch, which is 2960, my favorite, and from there I'll take some computers, computer 1, computer 2 and computer 3. These computers are going to represent the VLANs that we are going to create. So from there we are going to first configure the switch, and while configuring the switch, of course, you'll have to configure the VLANs and the names of the VLANs and the interface ranges. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'll go to enable mode, of course, and then I go to the global mode. Yeah, so from here I'm going to start by creating VLANs. So the first VLAN I'm going to create is VLAN 10, and I'm going to name it from here, because these ones are going to represent the VLAN. So I'll say this one is the left, the middle, and the right. Fine. Okay, so the first one is going to be the left. I'll name it left. Yeah, and then the next VLAN I'm going to name it, which is VLAN 20, of course, and I'm going to name it middle. Now it name, and then the next VLAN is VLAN 30, and I'm going to name it white. Not forgetting another very important VLAN, which is the native VLAN. So I'm going to call it VLAN 40, and of course the name is native. Yes. Well, we've already created the VLANs, so we are going to allocate the VLANs to the interfaces. So from here we exit, and then we create the ranges. So because our switch, of course, has many ranges, from here you see there are many interfaces in our switch. So there are around 24, and the 2 gigabit Ethernet switchboards. So from here we are going to divide the interfaces amongst the 3 VLANs. Yeah, so at the router here, or the switch rather, at the switch here we are going to divide the the interfaces. So say interface range, which is to 8. That is going to be the first one. So we're going to allocate the switch to it. So switch port mode is going to be access, of course, because we are connecting to the devices, the PCs. So it's going to be the access mode. So switch. Start with VLAN 10. Oops. Yeah, so here we're going to configure the switch port on VLAN 10. Yeah, and then from there we exit, go to the next VLAN. Yeah, so the interface range, this one is going to be fast Ethernet starting from 9 and ending with 16. Yes. Switchboard mode, access. Right, and then the switch port access. This one is for VLAN 20. Another range is going to be first Ethernet starting from 17 and ending at 23. Is going to be for VLAN 30. Yeah, and then we exit. Thereafter we're going to configure also another VLAN, that is the interface, our last interface, because this one is interface of 23, which is the last. So we're going to also configure the interface 24, and this one you're going to configure it as a trunk. Yeah, so trunk is going to be the one carrying all these VLANs and the data in the VLANs. So this is their big transporter, something like that. So yeah, we're going to be trunk, and not forgetting also the native VLAN. So we're going to put it on our port. VLAN 40. Yeah, that was our trunk. Oh, right. Forgot to add the native VLAN. Yeah. Let's check and see. So here we've already seen the VLANs that are there, that is VLAN 10, 20, 30 and 40. So 40 of course is there, which is a native VLAN, and the default VLAN is always there, it cannot be removed. So yeah, so we've confirmed that all the VLANs are there. So what we do now is let's configure the router. So before that, we are going to now connect all these VLANs. Now all these computers, of course, these PCs represent the VLANs that are on it. So we have to be very careful with the cable we're going to assign them to. So yeah, the interface of this one starts from 0, 1 to 8, and the other one for VLAN 20 is going to start from 9 to 16. The other one is going to start from 17 to 23. Yeah, then also of course for the router is going to be 24 there. So we're going to configure the router now. Okay, so we have to enable the router. Then we're going to build sub interfaces to represent the interfaces and the VLANs. So G00 sub interface of this one of the first VLAN, which is VLAN 10, is going to be G00.1, which is the first, which represents also the first network. So yeah, and then now encapsulation is .1Q, which is VLAN 10. Keep doing that, I wonder why. Then now we configure the IP address. IP address, which is 168.1. Then default gateway, also go to the next inter-VLAN. Is .1Q, then going to be for VLAN 20, and then now the IP addresses 192.168.2.1, and the subnet mask is 255.255.0. Go to this and next sub interface, which is G00.3. Now here encapsulation do the same. So for the native, for the VLAN that represents, which is VLAN 30. And then now the IP address. Now we're also configuring the interface of the router itself, which was G000. Going to shut down, so all the interfaces are up. So we're going to configure the DHCP pool from here. So we start with the first VLAN, which is the left one, this one. So we'll use the IP DHCP pool. And the left. And its default gateway. Router, still the same as default gateway, but packet tracer only allows default router as a command. So 168.1.1, and then because the network port is 1 192.168.1.0. The subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Next, we're going to go to the next one. The next IPG. We're going to configure the DHCP for the next VLAN, which was in the middle. So we'll issue IP DHCP pull middle, and then now the default router. Is 192.168.2.1, and the network which represents is 192.168.2.0, and the subnet mask. Yep. Now we go to the next one, the next VLAN, which was at the far right. So IP DHCP white, and then now we issue the default router. The 3.1, and the network that is represented by this VLAN is network of 192.168.3.0, and its subnet mask is this 0. Yeah, that. So we exit. Not applicable. Yeah, I see it's running already. It's all green. So we'll issue do white, and it's going to copy all that into the VM. So now we have already configured the whole VLAN and the DHCP it represents, and we're going to see how they are connected if the computers are going to receive the DHCP from the router, the IP addresses. So this one, let's check and see they are total C 192.168.1.2. that is going to be the one for VLAN 10, and it's going to be the first network. So there we have it. Check on the next VLAN if it has received the IP addresses from the DHCP. There, it's working. So yeah, it's all good. So next time we're going to configure the DNS servers, but for today we're going to only do the DHCP on the VLANs. So these ones are going to be actually pretty different. Yep. So this one is going to be another VLAN. And another VLAN. It's looking better. There. oops. And then this other one is also going to be a different VLAN, say a pink. So these are VLANs that we've configured. So yeah, this one is VLAN 10, and then this one is VLAN 20, and the last one at the right is VLAN 30. Perfect. So we've configured the VLANs and they receive the IP addresses from the DHCP, which our router is going to act as a DHCP server. Of course, we can, and then the next episode, the next video, I'll also make the one with the server itself. Yeah, that is it for now. Thank you very much. Bye.